So, a weird thing happened last week, and it's something that feels endemic to YouTube, fandoms, and particularly Star Trek. Last week, I watched the first episode of Discovery, as many of you are aware. Across my social media, I was having some fun with it. This was mainly to antagonize my friends and some Lore Reloaded fans. While it may sound odd to some, it's what I do, and those who stick around me get my humor. I'm nothing if not consistent in branding. Anyway, these tweets were pretty divisive. I wasn't too worried about the responses at the time, and I'm still not, for the most part, but we'll get into that in a bit. At the end, I had done a poll where I alluded you can like Discovery or you can like Trek, but true Trekkies didn't like Discovery. It took off a bit. Polls like these sometimes do, so I wasn't completely surprised. But after it had, two things happened. First, after the poll became semi-popular, it was again extremely divisive, which is intriguing to me. Given my background, Twitter history, responses to people who said something on the poll, and my channel, I realized people don't really do research regardless of what they believe. They just instantly respond and assume the worst. Then, a few larger Twitter accounts respond to it, and we're off to the races. You have people saying that I'm doing it for attention, that I'm trying to harm others, I'm anti-LGBT, I hate everyone, and really I'm just not the nicest person. Which, let me tell you, I'm just beat up about these misinformed people saying misinformed things. The second thing that occurred to me, and is more intriguing, is that I had a few people who are more prolific within the We Are Starfleet group who had initially been excited about being a part of my Starship Battle series pull out. And this, of course, happened after they had responded to the poll. When I pushed a little bit, I'm also to understand that it was perhaps the last straw. They had concerns beforehand, but I guess just never talked to me about it. Now that's fine. To be clear, I have plenty of friends, colleagues, and those who are still within We Are Starfleet, just not as prolific, that want to be a part of the project. I'm not worried about the series. And the fact that I got to that step with those people and that they were willing to join, at least at some point, is a win, I think. What makes it even more annoying is that I know that interactions like these will probably prohibit moving into more official channels, at least in the short run. I mean, in the end, Star Trek is a business after all, and I have no doubt that if I continue moving forward, continue doing as well as I do, and the channel crests over 100,000, I could probably network my way into some official channels. It's just irritating that people take so many sides and that we're basically in a place that is similar to that of politics. A lack of communication, except publicly if you do something wrong, not willing to interact or even understand the other side. And again, this occurred with not one person, but two who were pretty prolific within We Are Starfleet. It's a testament to the age that we're in. It's ironic as well to watch all of these Twitter handles talk about how a poll of mine is causing harm and problematic, and those Twitter profiles are either silent or supportive of the attacks being done upon Kirstie Alley for being pro-Trump. For those who don't know, she played Saavik in The Wrath of Khan. Apparently you can be problematic, hurt others, and do polls and say things that are very harmful to someone's mentality, as long as it's a person who is considered to be othered from your group. Because honestly, in the end, the way people work, the way they really work, means that you have to go all in one way or the other. I've said it before, but whether you're looking at a We Are Starfleet channel or you're looking at Fandom Menace, you're looking at someone who is attempting to talk to people. And if they're in the middle of the road or they don't support wholeheartedly one side or the other, they're not going to do well. And ironically, something just happened while I was perfecting this script that proves why you need to go all in. I had deleted the poll because it was successfully argued to me that it was doing harm. However, I have received a few people who had screenshot it in an attempt to attack me. Which begs the question, why should I delete the poll if it's just going to be strung up against me? Why not just go with it? Hell, there's money in it. Fandom Menace can make you bukus if you do it right. Allow me to clarify, though, for those who might try to use this as a way to attack We Are Starfleet. This isn't special to that movement or the pro-Diska-era Trek crowd. The Fandom Menace is the exact same way. Let me give an example, but before I do, let me say this up front. I have absolutely no working knowledge of if I'm right or not. You'll have to go talk to the other parties if you want confirmation, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. If I had to, I would bet real money that anti-Trekkers' movement away from the Fandom Menace, and speaking honestly and frankly about them, is costing him spots and slots on the Fandom Menace. I wouldn't be surprised if they've stopped mentioning him altogether, even if they've told him or said publicly that they're okay with his opinions. I'd bet money that he has been shut off in one way or the other. Hell, I know that he's been ostracized by the fans of Fandom Menace. Just look at the comments on his videos. And it's just a clear way of showing the two different experiences that we've been through. I'm going to end this on a few thoughts. First, if I honestly had to live with one side or the other, I had to, I didn't have any other choice, I think that We Are Starfleet should prevail. I'd rather live in a We Are Starfleet dystopia than a Fandom Menace one, given how far I see some of their fans go. I don't think either side really should have complete control. Both are toxic echo chambers with purity tests at their worst, but one is a lot better than the other, in my opinion. You know, there was something said to me by a friend of mine who has the name of Andrew Follet. He's on Twitter, he's a senior analyst at Club for Growth. Now, Andrew and I don't agree on everything. I think I may lean a little much to the left for his tastes, but he did give me some piece of information that was eye-opening. It is so true. He told me that in politics, you have to be a true believer. Those who are in the middle of the road won't survive or will take a minuscule amount of what they could. They won't have as much impact. Obviously, there are examples of those who go against the fold, but most people do lean one way or the other. And that's sad, but it's basically the way we are with everything. Whether you're into Star Trek, you're into Star Wars, you're into Lord of the Rings, you want to talk about being a mom at home or a single dad, there's just always sides, and those sides are generally closely tied to politics. Going back to Anti-Tracker for a minute, he stated that he was doing this because he needed the money, and that he didn't enjoy doing it anymore. And that's probably the problem. Because you see, I can identify with that. I do love what I do. I do enjoy being here, but if I was just doing this, if this was just a job, then I don't know that I could last. I don't know that I'll last even though I love it. But this entire thing does tell me one piece of information. If I don't want to go through these frustrations, I really should just sell out. Have a public versus a private opinion, if you know what I'm talking about. But that's me. Maybe future YouTubers will change the process, or maybe it's just unique to my situation. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments below.